You think you're doing the right thing. You work hard, you spend less than you make, and you diligently stash money away in a savings account. It's the responsible move, right? It's what our parents taught us, what every financial guru on TV has preached for decades: save your money for a rainy day. But what if I told you that in 2026, that advice, that very foundation of financial security, has quietly become one of the biggest wealth traps in modern history? What if your safe savings account is actually a leaky bucket, and every single day, a little more of your security, a little more of your future, is dripping away, stolen by a force you can't even see? Have you ever had that feeling, standing in the grocery store, that your $100 bill just doesn't stretch as far as it did last year? Or the year before? Have you ever wondered, if the US dollar is so strong, why you can buy less and less with the same hard-earned paycheck? You're not imagining it. And it's no accident. There is a silent theft happening, a systematic draining of your wealth. Today, we're going to expose it. More importantly, we're going to show you exactly what the wealthy are doing to escape this trap, and how you can start building a real lifeboat for your financial future. Because what's coming next won't just hit Wall Street, it's going to hit every single person with $1 in their bank account. So, stop what you're doing. This is the most important financial wake-up call you'll get all year. Section 1, the problem, the silent theft. Let's start with a simple, painful truth. Your cash is dying. The money sitting in your savings account, the nest egg for your kids' education, your retirement, or a medical emergency, it is losing value with every tick of the clock. This isn't a theory, it's a mathematical certainty. And the cause of this decay is a word we've all been taught to accept as normal: inflation. We're told that a little bit of inflation, say 2%, is good for the economy. But here's what they don't broadcast: inflation is not some harmless economic metric. It's a tax. It is a silent, invisible tax on your savings that you never voted for and cannot opt out of. Let me explain this with an analogy I call the pizza scam. Imagine you and I agree that I'll buy you a whole pizza tomorrow for $10. We shake on it. You go home happy. But overnight, while you're sleeping, I sneak into the pizza shop and tell the owner, "Hey, when that person comes in tomorrow with their $10, I want you to give them a pizza, but first, secretly slice out a piece for me." Don't tell them. Just give them the box, and they probably won't even notice. The next day, you show up, you pay your $10, and you get your pizza. It looks like a pizza, it smells like a pizza, and it comes in a pizza box. But it's not a whole pizza. A slice is missing. Your $10 bought you less pizza than we agreed upon. Now, imagine this happens every single day. At first, you might not notice. But over weeks, months, and years, you'll look down one day and realize your $10 barely buys you half a pizza. That is exactly what inflation does to your money. The government, through its central bank, is the one taking a slice of your pizza every single night by expanding the money supply. Your dollar still says $1 on it, but it buys you less pizza, less gasoline, less housing, less life. It has been debased. Now let's look at the actual numbers for 2026. Right now, the national average for a traditional savings account is a pathetic 0.1%. If you're lucky and you've moved your money to a so-called high-yield savings account, you might be earning between 4.0% and maybe 5.0%. On the surface, that sounds okay. You're earning interest. You see the number in your account going up. But here's the other side of the equation they hope you ignore. The latest data for the annual inflation rate in the US, as of March 2026, clocked in around 2.9%. And that's the official number, which many argue is a heavily sanitized version of reality that conveniently downplays the rising costs of things we actually need, like food, energy, and housing. Let's do the math. Best case scenario, you have a high-yield account earning 5%. Your real return, after you subtract the 2.9% inflation rate, is just 2.1%. Your wealth grew by a measly 2%. But what if your money is in a traditional account earning 0.1%? Let's do that math. 0.1% minus 2.9% equals a negative 2.8%. Let me repeat that. By following the standard advice, you guaranteed yourself a loss. Your savings account didn't just fail to grow, it actively shrank in terms of what it can actually buy for you and your family. Every $100,000 you had saved became only $97,200 in real-world purchasing power over the course of a single year. That's nearly $3,000 that vanished right out of your account, and you never even saw it leave. This isn't new. It's the culmination of a long, slow-motion train wreck. Since 1971, the year the US officially cut the dollar's last tie to gold, the dollar has lost about 84% of its purchasing power. A dollar from back then has the same buying power as about 16 cents today. Think about that. We have been conditioned to accept a system where our money is engineered to become worthless over time. We're told to save for retirement in 40 years. But in a system where the currency is designed to lose 84% of its value, what exactly are we saving? We're meticulously stacking ice cubes in a warm room, celebrating every new cube we add, while completely ignoring that the entire pile is melting into a puddle. The problem is clear. Storing your long-term wealth, your life's energy, in a currency designed to depreciate is not a strategy. It's financial suicide. It's a rigged game, and the first step to winning is to realize you're playing it, and the rules are not in your favor. The question isn't, how can I save more dollars? The real question is, why is this happening, and where can I put my wealth so it can't be stolen? And that is the dark, fascinating, and ultimately empowering rabbit hole we are about to go down. Section 2, the agitation. Why is this happening? The unseen forces. So, you get the problem. You feel it at the checkout counter. Your savings account is a leaky bucket. But why? Why is this happening? Is it just some unavoidable force of nature? No. This is not a natural disaster. This is a man-made crisis, born from decades of policy decisions and a fundamental flaw in our financial system. To truly protect yourself, you first have to understand the forces working against you. Part A, the government's insatiable appetite, debt and the printing press. Let's start with the big one, the United States national debt. As of early May 2026, that number has swelled to an incomprehensible figure, over $36 trillion. To put that in perspective, that's over $100,000 for every single person in the country. And it's growing by billions of dollars every single day. Now, a government, just like a household, has three ways to pay its bills. It can tax its citizens, but there's a political limit to that. It can borrow money by issuing bonds, which is how we've kicked the can down the road and accumulated this mountain of debt. But what happens when the debt gets so large that the interest payments alone become a crippling expense? What happens when other countries start getting nervous and become less willing to lend you more? That's when the government turns to the third, most destructive option. It creates money out of thin air. This is the dirty little secret of modern finance. When the US government needs money it doesn't have, the Treasury issues bonds, and the Federal Reserve, a quasi-governmental entity with both public and private characteristics, creates digital dollars with a few keystrokes to buy those bonds. This process, sanitized with the academic-sounding name quantitative easing, K, is really just sophisticated money printing. It's the government writing checks from an empty account, and the Fed agreeing to honor them. This brings us to the Cantillon Effect, named after an 18th century economist. It describes who benefits when new money is printed. Cantillon noticed that the new money didn't spread evenly. The people closest to the source, the politically connected, the bankers, the big corporations, got the money first. They got to spend it at its full, original value before it circulated and caused prices to rise for everyone else. By the time that new money trickled down to the regular workers and savers, the prices of bread, tools, and land had already been bid up by those at the top. The result? The rich got richer, and the middle class got the bill in the form of inflation. Sound familiar? It's exactly what happens today. The new money flows directly into the financial system, to Wall Street and large corporations. They use it to buy up stocks, real estate, and other assets, pushing their prices sky high. Meanwhile, you don't see a dime of that new money directly. You just see your rent going up, your grocery bill climbing, and the price of a house becoming completely unaffordable. This isn't a bug in the system, it's a feature. The Cantillon Effect is one of the single greatest drivers of wealth inequality in our society. Part B, the world turns its back, de-dollarization is here. For the last 80 years, the US has been able to get away with this reckless behavior for one simple reason: the dollar has been the world's reserve currency. After World War II, the Bretton Woods Agreement made the dollar the anchor of the global financial system. This was supercharged in the 1970s with the petrodollar system, where oil-producing nations agreed to sell their oil only in US dollars. This was a masterstroke. Since every country needs oil, every country needed dollars to buy it. This created a massive, artificial demand for our currency. It meant we could print trillions, and the rest of the world would soak it up like a sponge because they had no other choice. We were essentially exporting our inflation. But that era is now coming to a rapid close. The world is actively moving away from the dollar. This trend is called de-dollarization, and it is the single biggest geopolitical and economic shift of our lifetime. Look at the evidence. The IMF tracks the currency composition of global central bank reserves. In the early 2000s, the US dollar made up over 71% of all global reserves. As of late 2025, that number has fallen to around 58%. The world is actively reducing its reliance on the dollar. And what are they buying instead? In 2025, central banks around the world bought a staggering 1,045 tons of gold. The aggressive buying continues into 2026, with countries like China, Poland, and Singapore leading the charge, adding tons of gold to their reserves. Why? Because they can see the writing on the wall. They know a country with a $36 trillion debt that's being paid for with a printing press is not a safe place to store their national wealth. They are trading paper dollars for a hard, physical asset that has been money for 5,000 years and can't be printed into oblivion. This trend was put into overdrive by geopolitics. The freezing of Russia's US dollar reserves in 2022 sent a shockwave through the world. It was a wake-up call to every nation. If your political interests diverge from those of the US, your dollar-based wealth could be confiscated overnight. The dollar was weaponized, and its reputation as a neutral, safe haven asset was damaged. Now we see the BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, and new members like Saudi Arabia and the UAE, actively building parallel systems to bypass the dollar. They're settling trade in their own currencies and creating new payment systems. The world is fracturing into economic blocks, and the moment where the dollar reigns supreme is over. This is the agitation. The artificial demand for the dollar that allowed us to live beyond our means is disappearing. As the world needs fewer dollars, all those trillions we printed and sent overseas will have nowhere to go but to come flooding back home. When that happens, the inflation we've seen so far will look like the good old days. Part C, a tale as old as time, the historical warning. If any of this sounds like an alarmist fantasy, understand this, there is nothing new about this story. The playbook for currency destruction is as old as civilization. What is happening to the US dollar isn't unique, it's a rerun of a movie that has played out hundreds of times, and it always ends the same way. Travel back to ancient Rome. The Roman denarius was once the dominant currency, a silver coin respected for its purity. But as the empire overextended itself with endless wars and a bloated bureaucracy, emperors started to clip the coins, shaving off the edges to mint new ones. When that wasn't enough, they started debasing the currency by mixing the silver with cheaper metals. A denarius from 60 AD might have been 95% silver. By 268 AD, the so-called silver coin contained only about 0.02% silver, it was just a copper slug with a thin silver wash. The people weren't fooled. They hoarded the old, pure coins and tried to spend the new, debased ones as fast as possible. This loss of faith in the currency was a key factor in the eventual collapse of the Roman Empire. Jump forward to the Weimar Republic in Germany in the 1920s. Saddled with impossible war reparations, the government fired up the printing presses. At first, it seemed to work. But it soon spiraled into the most famous case of hyperinflation in history. Prices doubled every few days, then every few hours. People's life savings, held in the German mark, were completely wiped out. A wheelbarrow full of cash couldn't buy a loaf of bread. And for the United States, a critical moment came in 1971. President Nixon, facing a run on the nation's gold reserves, appeared on TV and temporarily suspended the convertibility of the dollar into gold. That temporary suspension is now over 50 years old. That was the day the US dollar became a pure fiat currency, backed by nothing but a promise from politicians. It was the day our pizza started getting smaller. The point is this, historically, the vast majority of fiat currencies have failed, eventually returning to their intrinsic value, zero. The economic laws that brought down the Roman denarius and the German mark apply to the US dollar as well. The forces of massive debt, unrestrained money printing, and a loss of global faith are the classic signs that a currency is in trouble. The only question is not if, but when. And how you will position yourself before the final act. Now, before we get into the exact assets the wealthy are using to protect themselves from this crisis, the specific, actionable steps you can take starting today, I want to pause. I know this is a lot of information, and it can feel overwhelming. That's why I've put together a free, comprehensive guide called the Hard Asset Survival Kit. It breaks down the top 5 assets you need to know about, the pros and cons of each, and how to get started. It's my gift to you for taking this first step towards financial sovereignty. The link is right at the top of the description below. Download it, and then come right back, because now we're going to talk about the solution. Section 3, the solution, where the smart money is fleeing. Alright, we've laid out the problem. It's urgent, and it's systemic. Your cash is being devalued, and the global structures that supported the dollar are cracking. So, what do? Throw our hands up and accept our fate? Absolutely not. This is not a time for fear, it's a time for clarity and action. The answer is surprisingly simple, and it has been the same for thousands of years. When the paper money system becomes a scam, you opt out. You trade your melting ice cubes of currency for something solid. You move your wealth from the world of paper promises into the world of hard assets. What is a hard asset? It's something tangible. Something with a limited supply that can't be created at will by a politician with a computer. Hard assets have intrinsic value. They're useful. They're desired. They are real. While paper assets like stocks and bonds can go to zero, and fiat currency trends that weigh over time, hard assets endure. They are the ultimate lifeboat in a currency crisis. The wealthy have understood this for generations. While they tell the middle class to save their money in a 401k full of paper, they are quietly accumulating vast stores of tangible wealth. They're not just playing the game, they're owning the game board itself. Today, we're showing you the 4 primary lifeboats they are rushing into. Asset 1, precious metals, the king of hard assets, gold and silver. When every other form of money has failed throughout 5,000 years of history, 2 assets have always re-emerged as the ultimate store of value, gold and silver. There's a reason gold is often called God's money. It has no counterparty risk. A physical gold coin in your hand isn't a promise to pay from someone else, like a bond. It is the payment. It's final settlement. Why gold? Because it's scarce. All the gold ever mined would fit into a cube about 22 meters on each side. It's durable. The gold from King Tut's tomb is the same gold that exists today. And most importantly, its supply can't be arbitrarily increased. While the Fed can create trillions of dollars with a few keystrokes, the world's gold supply only grows by about 1 to 2% per year through difficult and expensive mining. This makes it the ultimate hedge against inflation. As we discussed, central banks are hoarding gold at a record pace. They aren't buying it because it's pretty. They're buying it because they are preparing for a world where the dollar is no longer king. They are remonetizing gold at the sovereign level. When the biggest players in the game are all making a one-way bet on a single asset, you should pay very close attention. Then there is silver. If gold is the king, silver is the versatile, high-octane prince. Silver has a dual nature. For millennia, it was money. But it's also a critical industrial metal. It is the most conductive and reflective metal on Earth, making it irreplaceable in electronics, solar panels, medical equipment, and electric vehicles. This dual demand, monetary and industrial, gives silver incredible potential. As the world pushes towards green energy, industrial demand for silver is set to explode. Yet, it's mined at a ratio of about 8 to 1 to gold, while its price is closer to a 70 or 80 to 1 ratio. Many believe this price disparity is unsustainable, giving silver a leveraged upside potential that could be even greater than gold's. How do you start? You can begin by buying recognizable, government-minted physical coins like the American Eagle or Canadian Maple Leaf. For larger amounts, you can purchase bars. No, it doesn't pay a dividend. But that's the point. It's not an investment to make you rich, it's an insurance policy meant to keep you from becoming poor. A common starting point is a 5 to 10% allocation of your savings into physical metals, providing a solid foundation for your financial house. Asset 2, real estate, the shelter from inflation's storm. The second major hard asset the wealthy flee to is real estate. Not complex financial derivatives, but actual, physical, dirt and lumber real estate. Real estate acts as a powerful inflation hedge in 2 ways. First, as the value of the currency falls, the price of the tangible property tends to rise. The median U.S. home price has already soared from roughly 4 times the average income in 2000 to nearly 6 times today, directly reflecting the dollar's debasement. The house didn't necessarily get twice as good, each dollar just became less valuable. Second, and maybe more importantly, certain types of real estate produce income. If you own a rental property, you have an asset that generates cash flow. And during inflationary periods, rents go up. Your income from the property rises with the cost of everything else, protecting your purchasing power. Even better, if you finance the property with a long-term, fixed-rate mortgage, you're engaging in what I call good debt. You are borrowing today's valuable dollars and paying the loan back over 30 years with future, devalued dollars. Inflation becomes your best friend, eroding the real value of your debt while increasing the nominal value of your asset. Not everyone can go out and buy an apartment building, but the principle can be applied in different ways. This could be your own home, which at least shields you from rising rents. Or you can look into real estate investment trusts, REITs, which are companies that own income-producing real estate and trade like stocks. The key is to own a piece of a tangible asset that provides shelter or income, something that will always be in demand. Asset 3, Commodities and AMP, Resources, the building blocks of civilization. Beyond gold and real estate lies the world of commodities. These are the raw materials that build and power our world: oil and natural gas, the copper that wires our cities, and the agricultural products that feed and house a growing population. Investing in commodities is a bet on human progress. As long as there are 8 billion people who want to live better, warmer, more connected lives, there will be a demand for these fundamental resources. Like gold, you can't print more copper. You can't K your way to a new oil discovery. These resources are finite. This scarcity makes them a phenomenal hedge against monetary debasement. When a government prints trillions of new currency units, the price of a barrel of oil, a ton of copper, or a bushel of wheat, when measured in that depreciating currency, must go up. The commodity hasn't changed, the measuring stick has just been shortened. Commodities are also excellent diversifiers. Geopolitical events, weather patterns, and supply chain disruptions can cause commodity prices to surge even when the stock market is falling. During the high inflation 1970s, for example, commodities were one of the best performing asset classes. Investing in a broad basket of commodities, through ETFs or other funds, is a way of owning a slice of the world's essential, tangible resources. Asset 4, Bitcoin, the digital wildcard. No modern discussion of hard assets is complete without addressing Bitcoin. For many, it's a controversial asset, but if you strip away the noise and analyze it from first principles, it shares many of the most important traits of a hard asset like gold. What is Bitcoin? It is the first form of money in history with a supply that is absolutely, mathematically finite. There will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin. This isn't a promise, it's encoded in the software and enforced by a global, decentralized network of computers. No CEO, no government, no central bank can decide to create more. In a world of infinite money printing, Bitcoin represents absolute digital scarcity. This makes it a powerful potential store of value. People in countries with collapsing currencies, like Argentina or Turkey, don't need a video to explain this. They live it. They've seen their life savings wiped out and are turning to Bitcoin as a lifeboat. Bitcoin is often called digital gold, and the analogy is fitting. It's decentralized, meaning no single entity controls it. It's borderless, letting you send value anywhere without permission from a bank. And it's seizure resistant, as long as you control your private keys, you have sovereign control over your wealth. Now, let's be clear about the risks. Bitcoin is still young. It is incredibly volatile. Its price can swing wildly, and it faces regulatory uncertainty. It has not yet stood the test of time like gold has. It occupies a different place in a portfolio. It isn't the safe, foundational insurance that gold is. It's more of a speculative bet on a future where digital scarcity becomes incredibly valuable. An allocation to Bitcoin, even a small one of 1 to 5%, could have a huge impact if it continues on its path of adoption, while a complete failure wouldn't destroy your entire portfolio. Putting it all together, your personal lifeboat. So, these are the 4 main lifeboats: precious metals, real estate, commodities, and Bitcoin. The exact mix depends on your age, risk tolerance, and personal situation. A conservative approach might be heavily weighted towards gold and income-producing real estate. A more aggressive approach might include more silver and Bitcoin. The important thing isn't to get the allocation perfect from day one, but to start. To take that first step out of the melting ice cube of cash and onto the solid ground of real assets. The storm is no longer on the horizon. The first waves are already hitting the shore. We've unmasked the silent theft of inflation, stared into the abyss of government debt, and witnessed the world begin to turn its back on the dollar. We've seen that the system we were told was safe is, in fact, rigged against the saver. But this knowledge isn't meant to scare you. It's meant to arm you with the truth. Because once you see the game for what it is, you no longer have to be a victim. You now understand that saving money is not the same as storing value. The path forward is clear. It's the path the wise have taken for centuries, trading paper promises for real value. Moving your wealth out of depreciating currency and into hard assets like gold, silver, real estate, and essential resources. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. This is a stay wealthy securely strategy. It's about building a financial ark, piece by piece, that can withstand the coming flood. The old world of finance is dying, and a new one is being born. You can cling to the sinking ship, or you can build a lifeboat. The choice is yours. The time to act is now. Don't let your future be stolen by a system designed to fail you. Take action. If you found this valuable and want to continue your journey toward financial sovereignty, do two things right now. First, subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell. We're going to dive deeper into each of these assets in the coming weeks. Second, leave a comment below and tell me the one thing that surprised you most in this video. Let's start a conversation. You are no longer in the dark. Welcome to the awakening.